one who started the ball rolling and got me interviews, got me talking to everyone else. She had a party, and she was dating the Chinese leader of the Ducky Boys at the time. And at the time they'd been fighting, so she invited someone from. She was having a birthday party with a bunch of guys, with a bunch of people from a different area, from the Tremont area, which is south of Fordham Road.
Okay.
So they were at her house. Lenny, the Chinese leader of the Ducky Boys, there was multiple leaders. He found out about it, and he basically showed up at his house. It's all in the book, but he showed up at her house with like 100 Ducky Boys. They were just outside swarming the entire apartment building.
Damn.
Just because like it was, they were dating. They broke. They broke up. They broke up more than Ross and Rachel, but they kind of that was a complete disrespect. So he had to show you. He's like, no, you can't come into our neighborhood. And it was when Jerry, the Ducky girl, she said it was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. It was like you look out the window, there were Ducky Boys on the roof, there were Ducky Boys behind trees, there were Ducky Boys behind cars.
Mm.
So that when they all swarmed like that, that was kind of partially in the wonder. And again, I have videos on this on my YouTube channel, but where she tells, like, I don't know how he knew this stuff happened. Like it was too close to the reality for it to be. It was too close to reality for it to be fiction. And see, I don't know how he knows it. And when I asked Richard, he says pure coincidence.
Damn.
So, but like I said, the Duckies did swarm.
Mm. Did they tell you anything about the Ducky whistle?
Oh, the Ducky whistle is. I have a YouTube video specifically on the Ducky whistle. So if you want original Ducky Boys.
Oh, is that
Ducky
your
Girls,
channel? Because that's the only place. Okay, I didn't even know that was you actually.
Yeah. So I mean, like I have like a bunch of Ducky people doing the whistle.
That you're the only one who has a lot of stuff. You have a lot of good stuff. I'm gonna actually put some links in the description. But yeah, go ahead. Tell us about the Ducky whistle.
Right. And it's funny because it's like, like these people were in the 60s back when I was doing this. And it's like, okay, I had one guy who's like, oh, it's like I was asking him to do the Ducky whistle. And it's like, I had one guy who's like, I can't do the whistle. It's like, basically there's a park with the balcony that goes down to the Twin Lakes. That's in Bronx Park. And there was a path. That's a dark path that if you're coming down there, you have to do the whistle. Otherwise you're going to get jumped. And he can't whistle. So he'd be like, I'm coming down the park. It's me, Rocky.
I saw that clip. Hilarious.
and it is hilarious. And I have Jerry, she's the one who goes, it's like, he's like, I feel foolish too. She's the one who, that was, Phyllis actually did it.
Got
Jerry goes, I can't do the whistle now. I feel funny. She wouldn't do the whistle because she had 60. And then I had Phyllis, who was actually with Lenny, who was the Chinese leader. So you've seen this video, you know the people I'm talking about. So she actually did the whistle. And I can't whistle, but it was like Kevin, who can't whistle, but when people couldn't whistle, they would yell "Key-o-key," and they would run down and go "Key-o-key," and it's like that was an approved version of the whistle.
What happened to the Ducky Boys, to the best of your knowledge? They're obviously not a presence in the streets in 2023. How did they fizzle out, to the best of your knowledge?
Okay, the reason the book is called Lost Boys of the Bronx is because there were hundreds of Ducky Boys, and I've found reports on some of them are true, some of them are not. Right, as with everything from back then. What happened is they grew up. A lot of them went to Vietnam. A lot of them died. There were some young ones who died, and they're mentioned in the book. Some car crashes. Someone drowned in the park after sniffing glue. They got into harder drugs. So that took out a lot of them. A lot of them, again, back then smoking was big. A lot of them died of lung cancer.
Yeah.
Some of them went into the army. They got drafted. They went into the Army, Navy, and then some of them are living lives. Some of them, we became cops, engineers. There's a lot of success stories in there. But those are the people that didn't want to talk to me from the Ducky Boys. They didn't want. The reason the Ducky Boys is a book and not the movie that it originally was supposed to be is because when I was filming, I was supposed to be a documentary.
Oh, okay.
Because when I was filming it, they didn't want to talk to me on camera, but they would tell me the stories. So by doing the book, I could actually tell the stories without you showing their face or whatever.
Yeah. And this is what, 10, 12, 15 years ago. So it wasn't as prevalent as cameras are nowadays. Now it's commonplace, but back then it was a little weird. No, I don't want to be on camera.
No, and again, these people were in the 60s, and they had real lives. I mean,
yeah.
Jerry, the main Ducky girl, she just recently died, and only now are our kids reading the book because she never let them read the book while she was alive. Wow. Because you're in the 60s. You have grown kids. You don't want them to show that mom was a criminal. They're not. Again, the Ducky Boys are not the same criminal as like the Savage Nomads or someone like that.
Right.
But they were pranksters, and they did a lot of things that she wouldn't want her kids knowing she did because it would make parenting so hard if they knew. It's like, well, you sniff glue. Why, you sniff glue? Not that she'd sniff glue. I can do whatever I want. They're like, sniffing glue was very dangerous. But that type of thing. So, like, and again, some of them are cops, and they don't want to be known as gangs. Like, again, they weren't a tough gang, so it might be a little embarrassing. It's like, if you were like a tough gang, it'd be different. But you're in a gang that's like, you derailed the Metro North train. That was you stole the Botanical Gardens tram that and go on joyrides in the middle of the night and sneak into Bronx Zoo at night. It was stupid prank things. They didn't want they didn't want again they're in a different generation too, so that it's more embarrassing, I guess.
Makes sense.
But anyway, so that's why it's a book. And I forgot what my original point was on that one, but
yeah, you were talking about how the Ducky Boys fizzled out and how they ended up, just going
right. So a lot of them died. I mean, when in tracking them down, a lot of them just weren't around anymore. And
yeah, it's the 50s.
Yeah, that's the whole.
Yeah, that's what almost 70-something years ago.
Yeah, it was 50. Yeah, now, but it was less. But it's funny. When I was interviewing Ace Frehley for this, and it was like I remember just like I was talking, because he was like really close to a lot of the key Ducky Boys, and it was like, oh yeah, what happened? Oh, he's dead. This is how he died. What happened to this guy? Oh, he got killed to death with a screwdriver. And it was like, what happened to this guy? He had a drug deal go bad and got set on fire. And it's like you realize just like how many people, like if you live that life, it's not going to end well usually.
Yeah, man. Dude, thank you so much.
So
go for it. What were you going to say?
Just want to say, like, this book. Well, one of the problems I had when this book came out was people like, "Oh, you're glorifying gangs." I said, "No, I'm showing humanity of it. Of that going down this path doesn't always lead to a good thing. It doesn't lead to a good thing. These people were family, and they had this close bond together. But bad things happen to them. So it's like when people say it's glorified gangs. It's like, no, not it's not that at all.
Yeah, it's history, man. And you created history with this, dude.
I'm glad. I can't wait. I can't wait for you to read it and see how. And get your thoughts on it after you read it.
Well, The Lost Boys of the Bronx: The Oral History of the Ducky Boys by James Hannon. You can find it, I'm assuming, wherever books can be sold. Is that correct?
Mostly online. Amazon is probably the best place for it.
The best one, yeah.